Welcome back, and it's that time of the evening that I happen to particularly enjoy. It's called Media Watch with James Creedon.
Good
James,
evening, Annette.
How are you?
Not too bad.
Now, Nicolas Sarkozy seems to be getting a very stylish and helping hand in the name of somebody called Carla Bruni. Sarkozy.
Well, it's always useful to have a beautiful woman on your arm if you're looking for election, or a handsome man if you're a lady. So in this case, Carla Bruni seems to be giving a helping hand, unsurprisingly. I mean, it would be shocking if she were working against him, let's be honest. So in any case, what a lot of the media are talking about is a viral video that has got out onto the web, and it was from Wednesday evening when he announced that he's seeking re-election on TF1 television. Now, this is a little sequence that just preceded that interview that he gave to the Evening News, and it sort of got out. And a lot of people are asking how it got out. Was it by accident or by design? But let's take a look at those pictures. I think we have them. And what you see in these pictures is Nicolas Sarkozy preparing to go on air, and who appears but Carla Bruni, straightening his Legion of Honour, pinned to his lapel, of course. It has to be nice and straight. And a little kiss there just before he goes on air. So, you know, let's just say it wouldn't be the most damaging set of pictures to go viral online. But what's really weird in it is that it ended up on not YouTube, not Dailymotion, which is sort of the French equivalent, but RU, which is Russia's version of YouTube. So it's kind of bizarre. Some people are saying, you know, whoever did this, were they trying to kind of to cover up their tracks or put it on something particularly obscure in terms of, you know, a French video? It's quite odd. But what is interesting is that she has given a number. Let's take a look at what the Telegram de Brest, a newspaper in Brittany, said. With this kiss, Carla Bruni enters the campaign. So they're pretty much speculating
There's nothing wrong
intended.
with a wife kissing a presidential candidate, is there?
No one said otherwise. No one said otherwise. But what is for sure is that this comes at the same time as interviews with a number of different newspapers. So, look, she's supporting him. That's for sure.
OK, well, we'd be worried if it was otherwise, that's for sure. FrancoisHollande, the socialist candidate, has become a victim of Google bombing.
Google bombing. Now, it sounds more dramatic than it perhaps is, but I'll explain what has happened. François Hollande's name seems to have been linked to an expression, and the expression is incapable de gouverner, incapable of governing. Now, I'll show you how that works. If you go on Google, the search engine, if you type in incapable de gouverner, here's one I prepared earlier, you end up with Le Changement C'est Maintenant, which is François Hollande's official campaign website. Now, this is a sort of slightly dirty trick that is used in the private sector as well, where websites are associated with certain keywords, positive or negative. So, look, we don't know how this happened, but in any case, it has happened with George Bush in the past.
And didn't it happen with Rick Santorum in a rather...
That's right, in a slightly more dramatic way.
Sleazy fashion, yes.
So he could be doing worse. He could be doing worse.
OK, now, media boss Rupert Murdoch, as I just pointed out to business editor Tom Burgess-Watson, a fellow Australian.
That's right.
Visited the newsroom of the British tabloid The Sun today, and he was basically trying to calm a staff revolt because the tables have turned. This is a man who used to inspire fear among journalists.
Well,
no, it's not the case,
he's on the back foot these days, isn't he? Now, if you go back to July of last year, he shot down in the blink of an eye this newspaper, the News of the World, and here's the website. That's all that's left of it. Thank you and goodbye. And many were saying that he was prepared to sell The Sun down the river as well, because actually quite recently a number of journalists were arrested in a scandal about bribing public officials. This is coming on the back of a phone scandal that has affected his media empire. Now, a lot of people are saying that Rupert Murdoch's empire was giving the details that led to these arrests, thereby not respecting journalistic ethics, not respecting the privacy of sources. He didn't care about anything, the critics would say, except saving his empire and preventing the mess in the UK from spreading to much bigger interests.
Well, that's it. He's a businessman at the end of the day, isn't
now, let's take a listen to somebody that you were telling me about earlier. This is the former editor of the Sunday Times, also a former Murdoch man. Let's have a listen to what he told CNN a couple of days ago.
This is for Rupert Murdoch no longer about journalism. This is about defending News Corp, his American-based parent company, from judicial action and investigation in the United States. Because the penalties for what his newspapers are being accused of in London are huge under the Corrupt Practices Act in the United States. And News Corp matters a lot more to him than any of his newspapers in the United Kingdom.
So just very briefly, Annette, as you know, he announced The Sun on Sundays to be launched. This is the Sun tabloid going 7 days a week. He also said that those journalists who were suspended, that suspension is to be lifted. They're going to come back in the fold. So as Andrew Neil said on Twitter today, he is living to fight another day. In other words, he's kind of put a bit of cold water over that Sun revolt. But certainly he's struggling really to prevent this particular problem from spreading to the US.
I think we tend to forget that at the end of the day, as I just said, Rupert Murdoch is a businessman.
Certainly.
James Creedon, thank you as
Thanks,
always.